Okay, gang, we are going to find the slope of this function at this point. I wrote the formula for the derivative of arctan. Okay, so let's start. You have a variable times a variable, which means you have to use the product rule. All right, so first times the derivative of the second piece. Now this is the u here. U is x. All right, so u prime, so derivative of x is 1 over 1 plus u squared. So again, u is equal to x in this case. So 1 plus x squared. So that is the derivative of the arctan. All right, so back to the product rule. First times derivative of second plus second times derivative of the first piece. Derivative of the first piece is a 1. Okay, let's keep going. Derivative of composite e is innie times outie. So derivative of e is itself. Derivative of the innie is going to be dy dx. Woo! Okay, let me see how, if we even want to simplify this at all. We're solving for dy dx. I mean, if we fiddle with this too much, right, we got to divide this off. I don't even want to fiddle with this too much. It's going to make a complex fraction. All over all right, so technically you're not supposed to have a complex fraction. How I'm going to get rid of this really quick, I'm probably going to plug into it in this form, but it's only because we're plugging in that we this isn't like technically what we're trying to show as our final answer, because we have to go a step later. So what I'm going to do real quick, just to show you how you could format the derivative, is I'm going to multiply up down by this, okay? So this times the first piece will cancel, this will cancel out with that. So that'll just leave an x. But then you have to do this times this. I'm just showing you the algebra, because some of you, if you don't need the algebra, you could just fast forward this part. So this can't, so I'm distributing this. So this times the first term is x. This times the second term is this. And then this times this term is because a complex fraction is not considered a final answer, okay? So that's how I would get rid of that. There's other ways to do it, but I think that was sort of like the cleanest way to look at it. But you can plug in here to evaluate if you want, or you can plug in here. They're both going to give you the same answer. All right, I'm just trying to decide how much paper we need to figure this out. All right, let me see if I can plug in down here. It's probably not enough room. So I'm going to start to plug in these values now, the 1 and the ln of pi over 4. All right, I'm going to plug into here because it's easiest for me to see. And if that's not easiest for you to see, then you plug in here. So you do what's best for you. All right, so I'm going to do x is 1. So I've got 1 over 1 plus 1 squared plus arc tan of 1 equals to e to the ln of pi over 4 dy dx. Alright, so this is going to become 1 squared is 1, so this is 1/2. Arctan of 1 is pi over 4. You guys might, some of you might be like, where and when did we learn that? So try to remember the arctan is the inverse of the tan. So it's a little easier for some of us to go opposite direction. Pi over 2 to pi over, pi over 2 to negative pi over 2. So most of us will remember that pi over 4 on the tangent function is 1. So that means that the inverse is true, the inverse of arctan. So if you, so the inverse is the opposite. So if you plug in 1 into the inverse, the output's pi over 4. So if I plug 1 into the inverse, the output's pi over 4, because it's the inverse of tan. All right. Yes, I know you probably need a Tylenol with this one. Now, ln is base e, so these are going to cancel each other out. This is just going to be pi over 4, and then we're going to get dy dx. Okay. What do I want to do here so I don't give everybody a massive headache? I sort of want to multiply by 4 to everybody. I don't know if that's going to give everybody a headache. I'm trying to figure out like what's the easiest way to show it without being confusing. So this is a 2 plus pi equals to pi dy dx, and of course it's at the very end. I have no space. I just have to divide off this pi, gang. So dy dx is equal to 2 plus pi over pi. All right, I tried my best to make that not seem so crazy, but that's that. That's the final answer. I hope that was helpful. We're getting into sort of the crazy area now. All right, gang, I'll catch you. Bye-bye.